Hello again, Marines. This is Mr. Everything coming at you with this month's State of the Unit address. It's the end of March, but this is the April State of the Unit address. In March, we had only one person sign up in the whole month for our unit. Okay, let's back up. Part 1, membership. We had one person sign up in the squadron in the month of March. So now we have 32 members on the RSI site and only 26 members on the engine site. And I'll explain why there's a disparity here in just a moment. Let's pick this up. If we're slipping on recruitment. I don't know if we're bumping our recruitment thread every day. We need to get onto that, and we need to start bumping it without using the word bump. If you would, just go on in there and put some kind of statement. You know, we had a great night of gaming. We great video, great training session, blah blah blah, anything, right? And then also, if you would, go to some of these other forums like Reddit or Starbase or wherever and start a thread there that has that generates some interest, and then also put in the inside your message somewhere that the 1st Royal Aerospace Squadron is recruiting. And that's a way for, and then give them a link, of course, to the website, and that helps us out. Because right now we don't really have in-game recruiting just yet. The only thing we're relying on right now is YouTube and Twitch and the RSI forums, you know, and hopefully maybe somebody will Google search organizations and they'll find us. You never know. We can't rely on that. So what we need to do is be more proactive, and let's start getting out there and recruiting. One in a whole month is pretty sad. That's pretty sorry. So let's go ahead and try to pick that back up. All right. Now what I've also done is I've changed the name of our organization. I told you I would every month. I'm going to change the name of the organization. Only on paper. It's still going to be the 1st Royal Aerospace Squadron. It's still 1RAS. But what it says now on the RSI site, it says, in quotes, "Join us. 1RAS is recruiting." That's our organization name. Join us. 1RAS is recruiting. And that name's going to change from time to time. If holidays come by, I might switch it with a holiday greeting of some kind. Otherwise, it's going to have some flavor of recruitment on it. Okay. I thought about putting Imperial Marines on there, like First Imperial Marines, or something like that, because we are in the Empire, and we are Imperial. We're Royal Marines. So, but I didn't. I just put "Join us. 1RAS is recruiting." Now, as part of membership, there are kicks and bans occasionally, and it's the downside of membership, you know. But I just want to address a few things about some members in the org. Last State of the Unit address, I called out some names, letting you know that they were on my watch list, and I gave them 2 weeks to visit the RSI, not the RSI, visit the engine site. Once, just visit it once, and they didn't, so they were removed. They were removed from the unit, and that's why you see a difference of 26 on the engine site and 32 on the RSI site. On the RSI site, I'm leaving every member that joins on there. Well, 99% of them I'll leave on the RSI site. But in our engine site, where all the activity takes place and where we do all of our business, I'll kick them, I'll ban them, and I have done that. All right, and so that was the end of membership, number 1. Now, number 2 is promotions and organization dispositions. Well, we had no promotions or awards, but the organization disposition did change just a little bit. I don't remember how long ago this was, so I'm just going to mention it now. We took our non-combative groups and we put them into the auxilia, okay, which is like the non-combatants, and then the principes, or the primary forces of the unit, are the primaries, or the principes. And these are, and all the groups are now not called groups anymore. They're called cohorts, because that falls in line with the Roman legions. So you have the fighter cohort, which is a fighter group or a fighter wing or a fighter flight. Okay, those are all part of the fighter cohort. And then you have the Marine first-person shooter cohort. You have the merchant cohort. You have the exploration cohort, the enforcer cohort. Okay, they can still be called teams or groups or any of that. That's fine. It's just on paper it'll say cohort because it's more cool. It's cool. Okay, so that's why we switched to that. But nothing's really changed. Okay, it's just the way it's displayed is really all that's changed. So don't worry about any of that. Okay, now I'm still working on a date in the life of a Royal Marine. So basically what that means is I plan to put out a little video explanation or a text explanation of what it means to be a Royal Aerospace Marine from when you wake up in the morning till when you go to sleep, which technically means when you log in and when you log out. Okay, like when you log in, wake up, then the things you have to do in your day before you hit the bunk, log out. Okay, so I'm planning on working on that, and then I'm also going to demonstrate or show how you can role play even though you're not face to face with somebody, and that you can role play online with TeamSpeak or even text chat, because you can role play in text chat. It's been done. I've done it a lot, especially in City of Heroes. When I went to the bar, there was this one bar that you could go, that both villains and heroes could go to. It was like, I don't remember how you get there, but you had to go through a teleporter basically to get to this one bar. It's a dance club, and there were people there. That's where I learned most of my role-playing online skills, because I've role-played face-to-face like for years, but it was I had a hard time grasping. I didn't have a hard time. I guess I did. I don't know, but I didn't have an understanding of how to type in character, to someone. And that game I didn't have TeamSpeak or anything. I was pretty much always typing to people. And in that game, when you meet someone new, you're not necessarily on the same TeamSpeak or whatever. So your conversation was mostly text-based. And I learned how to role play that way. And I want to make a video explaining that, not just to you guys, but to everybody in the world, because there might or might not be anything like that out there. So I've been thinking about doing that for months, and I'm sorry I still haven't done it yet. But it'll happen. It'll happen eventually. Okay, I've got other projects that are going on, and I'll explain those here in just a minute. All right, number 4 is our training. Number training? Okay, number 4 is training. We have already started our BCTs, okay? Not officially, not in earnest, no. Just occasionally we'll throw out a BCT class to kind of work on the bugs and not the workflow, the class flow, to see if it works for everybody and see how the training goes and if it's accepted well or not accepted. That's really what these BCT courses are for. But if you are lucky enough to attend one of these BCTs, you have met the requirements for our BCT training course. So over the next few months, as these BCTs come out and you start taking them, by the time beta comes around, you might already have all your BCTs finished, and then, or maybe 1 or 2 left, and then you just knock those out, and you have 60 days after beta starts. So it's all good. Okay, we've already did a flight class, and that went over really good. But we did learn some things about that need to be tweaked, and I'm going to go ahead and tweak those in the manual, so any future drill instructors that take on the role of our drill instructors, they'll understand some of those things. And moving on. Another thing, this Tuesday, I think that's tomorrow, if you look on the schedule, be sure to check calendar, because I am now putting on these classes on the schedule. And if you want to attend a class, and you look at the schedule and you see that there's no class on that date, drop me a message, a PM in Engine, requesting a specific date, and I will put you in on that date, or I'll try to, if I can. If I can't, then I can't. But if I can, I will, and you and me, one-on-one, will go and do one of these classes. I know that, Marius, you wanted us to get together and work on maybe that first BCT, the flight BCT. I need you to, you said Thursdays, but I thought you said Thursdays were good for the show, the Filling the Void or something. I'm not sure, but if you want one of these BCTs, drop me a message or find me on TeamSpeak. Okay, that's that. And if you can find, if anybody can find me on TeamSpeak and you want a specific class, not at that specific time, but like in a future date, I will gladly jump in on the calendar, pencil you in, and that way other people that might want to attend will see it also on the calendar and jump in. So I recommend everybody checking the calendar every day. If you're looking for something to do, check the calendar. If you're looking for future things to do, check the calendar. Please check the calendar. Everyone has permission to make a calendar event. Everyone. So if you plan to play like on a Saturday and you're gonna crank out a few hours of Arena Commander or something, and you want to know if you want some people to join you with some Vandal Swarm or some Capture the Core or something, and you want to do that, put it on the calendar. Somebody will see that and say, "Oh, look at that! Joe Blow's doing a game on Saturday. You know, I have that day off or whatever. I'm itching to play some Vandal Swarm with some other players, you know, at 2 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I'll do it, you know, or whatever." But yeah, everybody can put something on the calendar. But please look for my classes on the calendar. And BCTs are in purple. Nobody else use purple, okay? Red is for your squadron leaders, the leaders to post. I need to put this out somewhere, but the red posts are there from your squadron leaders to do their own personal training or get-togethers or whatever. Purple is my BCTs that I'm doing. It'll always be BCTs. Even when the drill instructor takes over, it'll still be purple, will be BCTs or AITs. Any of the training, official squadron training, is going to be in purple. And then you can grab another color that's on the list. There's like 8 of them. When you make your squadron, you know, your whatever you call it, your get together, you can do that. Okay. Okay. Next thing. Speaking of colors, number 5, the uniform color. Okay, the uniform color came through perfect. I mean, not perfect, but it came through great. We have a smashing success. Blue for the Marine armor in combat is our color. We're going to be like a deep blue, not that blue, but more like that blue. Okay, so we're going to be. It'll be very dark blue, but it'll still be a blue, and it's not going to be like so bright that you stand out in a hallway, but it's not going to be so dark that it looks black either. It's going to be just a little bit brighter than black, but not so bright that it's light blue. Okay, so we'll get together on that once the actual official ability to paint or change colors on your uniform comes out. But right now it's not out, so don't sweat it too much. And white is our secondary color. White, like you saw, white shoulder pads or armor pads or the shooter pads. Those are going to be reserved for the NCO, a squad leader. So when or a team leader, depending on how big our groups are. So like, let's say a squad leader is deploying with his Marines onto like a boarding party, okay? Everybody in the boarding party is going to be blue, But the Marine, the leader, is going to have like a white shoulder pad or a white helmet or something. And so what that's going to show is you as a squad member, you're going to be able to glance around and see where your leader is at. You're going to be able to follow the leader. You're going to be able to know where he's going and what he's doing, without having to ask him, without having to have his name displayed over his head. You'll be able to just see him right away. Boom, it'll save so much time in combat. You don't need to be dealing with having to read names or looking around, or you're going to be on comms 99% of the time anyway. So, but when you see this guy in white and he says, follow me, and he's like cruising along, you know exactly what to do. You cruise along. Okay, so we'll get into all that in the future. But yeah, your leadership will be in white, or not white, not like stormtroopers, but you'll have like a white shoulder pad or white emblem on your helmet, or maybe the back of the helmet, like they did on D-Day, something like that. Okay, so now blue won out over the red. Red was really popular for a while. I thought it was going to win, like, hands down. I thought the red was going to be like, we were going to be kicking ass in red. But no, we weren't. That only got about 30% of the votes. 70% of the votes went towards the blue. So we're in blue. We might reserve red for something special, but no. I know that some of you really like the red, but like the bounty hunters or our enforcement group might be in red. Like Mounties. No, I'm just playing. But we never know. Might do it that way. But right now, blue is it for our Fleet Marines, and pilot uniforms have always been, or all, the gray or whatever, because I really didn't think that it mattered, because you're in a fighter and you're flying around, you're doing your thing. But why not make them in blue too? I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. They're in a fighter, or their bomber, or their Constellation, or whatever they're in. Also, the Auxilia don't fall into the same rules, because they're almost all like, not civilian contractors, but like our merchant Marines, our merchants, they are civilians, but they are part of the Marines. So it's kind of like they're, what's the word, like GS positions. They're not contractors. Yeah, maybe contractors, but more like government. They're like government imperial employees that work for the Marines, but they're not. There's a word for it. I can't remember what the word for it is. But I'm going to give them a little leeway on what their uniforms are going to be like. But the FPS Marines and our fighter bomber pilots, blue, baby, blue. Okay, so let's go on. So Star Citizen news. Okay, and I'm not going to talk about all the Star Citizen news in the universe. Okay, this is a new thing I'm putting on the State of the Unit. Okay, Star Citizen news that affects our squadron. Okay, and this is, I plan to keep this up every month. This is kind of a new thing, but new chapter, I should say. But chapter 6, Star Citizen news that affects our squadron. The social module and the FPS module are coming out soon. Okay, guys, I expect the social module to be released like 2 weeks before the FPS module, which means I expect the social module to be released in the next 2 weeks, because the FPS module should be out before the end of April. So, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. I could be wrong, but that's what I think is getting ready to happen. Now, I need you as our Marines to get ready to split time between dogfighting in Arena Commander and doing FPS missions in Star Marine. Okay, so we need to be prepared to play both, because you can't just drop one and start the other and neglect the one of them, because first and foremost, we're an aerospace squadron. So what that means is, first and foremost, we're pilots. But all Marines are riflemen first. So we have to split our time between being a pilot and being a rifleman. Okay, having said that, when the FPS module comes out, we're going to be probably doing nothing but FPS because it's going to be new. It's going to be exciting. We're going to want to get into it. We're going to want to try our hand at it and see if we suck, see if we're good. And we're going to want to do it. First of all, you need to because you want to learn how to do it. Second of all, it's new. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. Okay, but we're going to be working on our FPS skills almost exclusively, okay, for a month or two. Okay, we're almost going to, dogfighting is going to be secondary. But don't panic, because Star Marine's going to have bugs, and it's going to need to get tweaked. So, you know, the guns aren't going to be doing the right amount of damage. The armor's not going to stop the right kind of bullets. Everybody's going to get killed. You might have a weapon, you know, they're going to have, the rec system is going to need to get adjusted because everybody's going to have the best armor in like 2 days, you know, so all that's going to change. So don't worry about it. So there's not going to be any serious training, you know, in Arena Commander or Star Marine until we get a little bit closer to beta. When beta is on the horizon, because right now beta is over the horizon. You know, you have the horizon, and you got us, and you go over the horizon. That's where beta is at. But when we start to see beta cresting the horizon, that's when training is going to start. Okay, when we get, you know, serious training for formations and how to react to certain situations and how we're going to conduct our fire teams and stuff like that. That's all going to take place when we see beta on the horizon. Same thing with dogfighting. Dogfighting right now is just let's all get together and just start blowing up stuff. So now when beta comes out, remember this is my stance on beta, or this is my stance on FPS. Play the Gold Horizons map. I am not going to ask you to play in the arena. If you want to go play in the arena, you go ahead and go play in the arena. You know, have fun. It's probably going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I'll do it a few times. You know, whatever. But as a squadron and as a team, I want you to practice in the Gold Horizons map. Okay? The space station. The reason why is that's practical applications, because that is the kind of fighting that we as 1st Royal Aerospace Squadron members are going to be doing. We are going to be clearing stations, rescuing hostages, taking on pirates, you know, recovering boarding parties, you know, repelling boarding parties from whatever. We're going to be defending hostages or high-value people or cargo or whatever. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. No, I mean, that's what we're going to be doing. And so if we're doing that, you can't do that in arena. The arena is Ender's Game, and that's what it is, a game. It's a football game. It's fun. You have a good time doing it, but it doesn't simulate anything that we as a squadron are going to be doing. Okay, so yes, there will be 0G in the arena. But guess what, guys? There will be 0G in the Gold Horizon. So 0G is not exclusive to the arena. It's just an arena game. That's all it is. So whenever I log into play with our squadron, like we got people on TeamSpeak and we want to play, I'm going in Gold Horizon. Unless, you know, we just feel like, hey, let's go throw down in the arena. Okay, that's cool, but that's not going to be our focus. Okay, number 7. Okay, this is my last point, sort of. I'm cutting it short this month, which is good because I had everything planned ahead of time. Manuals. Okay, I've got these manuals being made. TMXYZ. TM is a training manual. We got FMs, which are field manuals. We have MRs, which are marine regulations. What? Yeah, we've got all kinds of manuals. Okay. FM1, that I'm not going to say them all, but FM1, that's our squadron information. That's information that you can get from about the 1st Royal Aerospace Squadron, our history, our TO&E, our paint schemes, our rank structure, our all that is in FM1. The other FMs, or TMs, or MRs, are basically things that I had on the website. Okay, I had all these things on the website, and they were a tab in our menu. So you would go, oh, check this out, the expectations, click, and then you would go and read through the expectations, and you would learn what the squadron was all about. Guess what? I took all that information and I put it in a manual online. And then we had another thing called our charter, which is our code of conduct. I took all of that, boom, put it in a manual online. We had our history and all that stuff. Guess what? FM1. I put it in a manual online. Basically, any type of document or any verbose chapter or tab. Like if I said, hey, why don't you go check out the code of conduct, and somebody would click on the code of conduct, and you would have pages after pages of the code of conduct, and you could go in there and you could find whatever you wanted to find. That's no problem, but the squadron website only gives us 50 modules, okay, 50 boxes, and now I can have one box 1,000 times on the website. I can do that. I can put the same box on every page of the website. I could do that. But I couldn't have more than 50 different boxes. Okay, if you know what I mean. And whenever I made one of those, like, take a look at our squadron, look at this picture, take a look at this this forum, let's look at this, and let's look at that. Every one of those is a box, and those boxes, they call them modules, were starting to get eat up. We had like 50 of them, and we're only allowed to have 50. So I couldn't expand the website anymore. I couldn't add anything to it or give you anything new on the website unless I went in and deleted something from the website. I could delete something and add something. And I found a way to clear up a bunch of boxes, basically delete a bunch of boxes on the website, and in a in-fiction way, which helps our squadron. So it's like a win-win. I could take that information, let's use the code of conduct, I could take that page that I had the code of conduct on, technically I could delete the whole page and that module that was attached to that page, and I made a manual on Google Drives, right? So we got Google Slides, Google Docs, Google whatever else, right? Slides, Docs, and Sheets. And so I made something there, and that allowed me to clear up a page. And so now it's presented as if it was like a official military manual that you would have and you would read, right? But in reality, it's just game information thrown on a spreadsheet or a slideshow or whatever. And so so it helps us out. So what I found is our website came down to about 40 modules. So that now I've got like room to breathe in the modules area. Got about 10 modules available that we could do something special with, or we could do something new with. So if you want to see something on the website that you haven't seen before, or you think would be a good idea to put in maybe its own page, or put multiple things on the same page, or whatever, if you want us to build another page on the website, and it's something I've overlooked, or something that that you think would be really cool to put on the website, I'm going to start a forum thread with some ideas of what modules are available on Engine that will allow us to track games or experience points, or I know that's not used in this game, but like they have a whole bunch of them for like Minecraft and stuff, but that's not us. But there's other modules out there that I can use to do things with, and I'm going to put that in the forum thread. And if you have any ideas of how we can use those to help our squadron, let me know, and that'll be pretty cool. We do have our exploration group, our intel division, in the exploration cohort, or exploration. No, I guess they're the MPs. The enforcement cohort. The MPs have a intelligence branch, and that intelligence branch is compiling a bunch of information about other organizations and pilots that are known pirates and ne'er-do-wells, or whatever. So we might have a little page specifically dedicated to that only our squadron has access to, or maybe only our leadership has access to, or maybe only militas and immunities above that have access to, or something like that. Someone that's finished all their training, basically, and become an actual official member of the squadron. Troopers are considered to be like raw recruits. Then you go to Tiro, which is like someone who's just started as AIT. And then once you finish your AIT, you're now a militus, if you're in one of the primaries, or you're an immunis, if you're in the auxiliary. And those guys have actually finished their training. And then decanus are like sergeants, and then it goes above for that. Okay. So, yeah. So that was it. Basically, if there's anything you want, let me know, because I want to make this squadron org unit the best damn org in the verse. I'll see you on the flight deck.